Live from 7 Sports, this is the Orange and Blue Review.
Welcome, everybody, to the Orange and Blue Review. We're talking about Broncos and Bengals today. I'm Lionel Bienvenu. This is Doug Ottewill.
How you doing?
Art Anderson is off today, Doug. I'm doing great. How about you?
Yeah, he's off.
He's off. Worked hard last night, late last night for the game, as did all of us, but Aaron's not here. But anyway, Doug's filling in, and he's got Aaron's jacket, which is the most important thing.
Aaron doesn't know it, so I don't know if he's going to watch the show. I just raided his locker.
Well, it fits perfectly.
Oh, I mean,
these things fit perfectly on Victory Tuesday.
Yes.
On Playoff Tuesday, Doug. Look, last night, the Broncos came through when they had to. They scored in the second half, which they hadn't done in December. They hadn't done in 3 games. Broncos hadn't put any offensive points up. They got the job done in the second half. But I got to tell you, when it was 14-0 in the first half, and A.J. McCarron was almost dead solid perfect against the #1 defense in the NFL, I was thinking, okay, this is not going to end well. Brock is going to face Peyton Manning, possibly coming back this week. The Broncos are going to lose 3 in a row. They're not kicking and screaming. They're not finishing strong the way John Elway wanted him to. Things are coming crashing down here with 1 game to play. But all that turned around in the second half.
It was setting up to be maybe the biggest collapse in Broncos history.
Yeah.
But, as it turns out, it's Victory Monday, or Tuesday, I should say.
Well, both, really.
But, that first half was something that I still think it's a concern because, McCarron was perfect. The defense couldn't stop anybody. Offense put up, 80-some total yards.
Yeah.
And 5 first downs compared to Cincinnati's 16. I mean, it was as if these two teams weren't even in the same league. I mean, Cincinnati dominated. Denver couldn't do anything. So I don't think they're out of the woods yet, but, hey, a win is a win,
Well, I mean, it's almost one. It wasn't a must-win, but it was one that they almost had to have to assure themselves a playoff berth and then not go into the last game with a chance to miss the playoffs. And again, the quarterback controversy that might be developing. I don't know if Peyton's going to be ready this week. He's missed 6 games. He's not going to come back after 1 week of practice and be the same guy. And he was still the worst quarterback in the NFL in terms of interceptions, passer rating, all that. So, Brock, I got to give it to the guy. I mean, he's handled this the last 6 games with style, with grace, with toughness, with mental toughness, dealing with all these questions every week about, you consider yourself the starting quarterback still? And he's like, I don't care. I'll be ready every week. But he came through with the second half. You're right. I mean, his numbers weren't.
In the first half, Brock really wasn't bad. He just didn't have the ball. And I would say this. The game plan and the play calling scheme in the first half were pretty bad. I mean, it didn't give him a chance to succeed. I know that's a cliche that coaches use, but it really didn't.
And he comes through in the second half. Everybody came through in the second half. I like the way he said it afterwards. He goes, this is not about me. And there was a question about Peyton. He goes, it's not about Peyton, not about me. This is about how this team came together. The defense played inspired, lights out in the second half. And Gary Kubiak said it. He said, the quote is, at halftime, I said, hey, guys, we've had struggles. It's time to play the best second half we've played all year. I'm proud of you guys. He fired him up at halftime.
I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that locker room because something tells me that it might not have come out that nicely. Just my guess. But it was a good speech, whatever was said.
Yeah, a lot of bleeps, according to the players.
According to them,
and
sure.
Look, this was one they had to have. It was one that Brock had to have to kind of go forward. He's now 4-2, and there's no way you change quarterbacks now, whether Peyton's ready or not. No. In fact, you, Mr. Ottewill, wrote an article here that I've been talking about as well. We've talked about this before, is that next man up could be the greatest quarterback to ever play, on milehighsports.com by Doug Ottewill, talking about Brock as a starter. I don't think there's any doubt about that after last night.
He has to be the starter.
If he lost last night's game and struggled, then we talked about this, then maybe he's not the starter anymore.
Right. It's up for debate,
at
the very least.
But he's the starter now. But when Peyton Manning is ready, there is not a problem with having the greatest quarterback to ever play ready to drop the clipboard, take off the baseball hat, and go in when you're down, or if Brock's hurt, and get in there and do his thing, do the hurry-up offense, get in the shotgun, call out Omaha, and go win a game.
It is arguably the greatest scenario any playoff team could have. if both guys can buy in. And look, you go back a couple of weeks, the Ian Rappaport report that said, hey, I don't want to play backup.
Right.
Of course he doesn't want to play backup.
Right.
No one wants to play backup.
You don't want to be backup to Aaron, but now that Aaron is out, you may never
he
leave
may never
the show.
Get this bat ever. But, you know, if Peyton Manning can buy in and he's healthy, which I think, you know, we saw the clip about 27 times last night in the broadcast, he looked pretty good. He looked like he was as fleet of foot as Peyton Manning can be.
Right.
Why not have him as your backup? I mean, that's a great scenario.
You're exactly right. And Peyton, you know, whether he's saying this just to say it or not, on Sunday told ESPN, whatever they decide, I'm okay with. I want to get myself ready to go into a game. And if I'm the starter, fine. If not, you know, whatever the coach decides, whatever Gary and the team decides is best, I'm okay with that. So
it's
hopefully that's
drama.
Right.
If he can come into a game and win it in the postseason, it's fantastic.
But the amount of drama and just controversy surrounding this team between Ian Rappaport's report and Peyton leaving as the worst quarterback, Brock coming in, they're 4-2 now. They've won a playoff game. The HGH report, Peyton's rebuttal, as angry as we've ever seen him. This has been a crazy season since they were 7-0.
Yeah, this is why this show is so fun. Because we're never at a loss to talk about anything.
Right.